World Religion, HMU 275, 228 by Kelsey Blazek. Okay, today we'll be discussing two different topics. The first one is going to be creation stories on Buddhism, Hinduism, and Judaism. And the second topic will be personal thoughts on Buddhism, Hinduism, and Judaism. We will first take a look into Buddhism. And the Buddhism religion does not have a theory or ideology about how the universe was created. Instead, they believe every current event was caused by a previous event, aka karma. Buddhism does not dwell on trying to speculate on information they cannot figure out. And they believe the world was not created once upon a time, but that the world is constantly being created. Personally, Buddhism is the religion that I tend to identify with the most. It seems peaceful, relevant, and overall makes the most sense. Karma is a main belief within Buddhism, and I adopt this kind of thinking throughout my life and how I try to make choices. I also take a similar approach and tend not to speculate on information we cannot begin to understand. It seems counterintuitive and not a good use of our time. To many, Buddhism goes beyond religion and is more of a philosophy or a way of life. Buddhist beliefs, along with mine, can be summarized below, and we will look at those individually a little bit. Living a moral life to me is using wisdom, kindness, patience, generosity, and compassion. All these values are instilled in us growing up, and I try to follow them as much as possible. In Buddhism, they prohibit 5 things: do not kill the living, do not take what is not given to you, sexual misconduct, do not lie, and do not use drugs and alcohol. Now, if we look at these 5 simple things, they all prevent some sort of suffering. Not only that, but as children, we are taught these things growing up. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't use drugs, and don't kill. It's pretty easy stuff that we are taught from the beginning, so it should make sense to most of us. Okay, so to me, if we are mindful, we are practicing maintaining a non judgmental state of complete awareness of our thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment to moment basis. How much better would our thoughts be if we just took a minute to think them through? Yes, I just said think your thoughts through. Maybe if we did this more often, we could control our emotions that much better. I myself always have to think things through for a pretty long time. I've noticed as I've gotten older, when I do this, I'm way calmer and at peace. I think it's really important that we take time to do this, and I think it's okay that in doing this, sometimes we still get upset or even angry, and as long as we know how to express these feelings in a calm manner, all of this leads us right into our actions, and if our thoughts are calm, typically our actions will follow. So, for the last part is wisdom and understanding, and with each of these thoughts and teachings, I believe comes wisdom and understanding. Those are my personal thoughts on Buddhism and the origin. And next, we will go into looking at Hinduism. Now we will take a look at the creation stories of Hinduism. Brahma is the first god in the Hindu triumvirate who is said to have created the universe. The triumvirate consists of three gods who are responsible for the creation, preservation, and the end of the world. The other two gods are Vishnu and Shiva. Vishnu is the preserver of the universe, and Shiva's role is to destroy it in order to recreate it. The religion has no specific founder, so it's difficult to trace its origins and history. And Hinduism is unique in that it's not a single religion, but a compilation of many traditions and philosophies, which we will take a look at here in a minute. Hindus also believe the world was not created once upon a time, but that the world is constantly being created and recreated. They pray for qualities or powers such as wisdom and learning abilities, or to educate evil and protect good. For example, Ganesha is honored as the remover of obstacles and for his great wisdom. And then there's a goddess who is associated with learning and wisdom. And then there's also another goddess who is associated with prosperity. Some of the Hindu traditions include immersing idols in water. A lot of Hindu festivals are celebrated by household temples and offices. They get custom-made idols of various gods which they honor over the span of a day, and at the end of these festivals, the idols get immersed in a nearby body of water. They also do fire walking. This is meant to serve as an opportunity for people to express, prove, and reaffirm and even test their faith. I always thought this was pretty neat myself, although I think that it would hurt really bad, and when they are doing it, they look like it doesn't bother them at all. So I find that pretty interesting. And then one more of their traditions is for their visitors to eat on the floor. Um, they do this in a cross-legged position with their plates. The pose is supposed to maximize digestion, and it also is supposed to signify humility and equality. So, my personal thoughts are because Hinduism embraces many religious ideas, it's sometimes referred to as a way of life or a family of religions as opposed to a single organized religion. Um, this resonates with me because it seems like taking best practices would be a realistic way to manage everyday life. Karma is also a main belief with Hinduism, and I said before that I adopt this kind of thinking throughout my life and how I try to make choices. And they also believe in the continuous cycle of life, death, and reincarnation. However, I find this is difficult for me to agree with. I do not believe or think that reincarnation in human life is something that happens, although I do not attest to other people believing in it. And now we will look at Judaism. their creation stories and my personal thoughts on this as well. So, unlike Buddhism and Hinduism, Judaism has that one God that created the world close to 6,000 years ago, and then he created Adam and Eve from clay. According to the Torah, God first revealed himself to a Hebrew man named Abraham, who became known as the founder of Judaism. And Judaism believes that God made a special covenant with Abraham and that he and his descendants were chosen people who would create a wonderful nation. Judaism's God speaks to believers through prophets and rewards good deeds while also punishing evil. I like the concept of earning rewards for good deeds. However, the idea of punishing evil seems overwhelming and causes me anxiety. Judaism, with the exception of a few groups, believe that their Messiah hasn't come yet, but he will one day. I don't really have any specific thoughts with this type of thinking, except that it doesn't really seem normal to me. I don't feel like a person or soul, so they say, comes from the heavens above and then just shines down on you one day. For many Jews, kosher is about more than just health or food safety, but instead about respect and adherence to religious tradition. Although I do not personally adopt these types of beliefs, I do understand why some religions do, and I respect everybody's own thoughts and opinions and their beliefs.